Hello everyone! Welcome back to another episode of Factional Fight Plays Wurm Online. My name's Brian, that's my brother Adam, and we are the Factional Fight Brothers. We're back in our labyrinth playing Wurm Online. Thanks for joining us. Today in the episode, we will be discussing, mainly, the new player experience and what that's all about and what we want to see happen to it. And we're also going to discuss a little bit about personal goals, and we'll have a discussion around those main topics. And what are we going to be doing in the game? We're going to be working on our labyrinth this time. We're going deep into our minds, so stay tuned. Okay, we are standing in front, or I'm standing in front of the mortar making factory. We made some mortar finally, and I know, Adam, you said that you bought some, which we definitely will need. I don't even know how much we had. I think 5,000. Ooh, that's better than the 0 that we started with in the bonus video. I think we ended up that night making about 700.
Right.
Which was pretty good. So is that on top of this 5,000 that we have? Actually, I think I used that 700, actually. So before we get to our discussions, and I know we always want to talk shop, talk about Wurm while we play. Let's go around and see what we've been doing in our labyrinth. I wouldn't say we haven't done too much, but God, we're almost to the point where we could see the ending. It's like, it's not, we can see the ending, but it's far off, sort of thing. Right? Whereas this whole building, this castle building is, I think like last episode, the whole outside's complete, but the inside needs to be done.
Right.
Right? And we have this whole thing. I don't even know if we ever talked about this. I think we did. You had to dig like this whole thing down just to get the mine entrance to open the correct way that we wanted.
Yeah. I essentially cut all the hedges down, dug out and exposed the rock. Had to surface mine it, and then, put it all back.
Yeah, I came on one day, I'm like, somebody's been messing with the with the hedges. Somebody's been messing with the floor, and I'm like checking the permission system. Like, did we leave this on? And just end up being Adam. Yeah.
Nope. Yeah.
And you open it up. We talked a little bit about like what we wanted to do in the mining in the mine, and we didn't know, did we want to make it really hard? Did we want to make it sort of like a fun little thing? I think that we've come down to wanting to make it not too hard, but more about the experience, more about like, wow, I just went through that really cool, I don't know, mine that maybe you don't see every day, because it would make no sense to make a mine like that. So I think that's what we came down to. But because we're doing that, because it's such a strange way to create a mine, we're having difficulty getting it started. And I know you were saying that, Adam, that you were hesitant to even begin construction on this thing.
I mean, I've been wanting to get started on this for like months now, and it's just a matter of, how do you begin this thing? Like, we were even struggling with how we're going to get the mats down there to build what we want to build.
Yeah, but we're going to attempt it today.
Yep.
But this is one of the 2 entrances.
I don't know. Did you notice there was a guy's corpse down at the bottom there?
Yeah, somebody already fell in and died. Thank you for being possibly the first death. Shadland. Is that right? Shadland.
Yeah. It's possible they were being chased by something and thought, hey, if I jump down in there, I might be safe.
Hopefully it wasn't too painful of a death. I'm kind of don't really want to go down there to see if they left anything on their corpse that was valuable, because I don't think I'd be able to get out. But we cannot start on this side. I think we agreed that this side is just not possible. We can't get in and out. We can't get the mats or the wagon in and out. And even if we were to dig this down or push everything down there, what we're doing in the mine itself, we would not be able to, again, get in and out of.
Right.
So that's kind of our dilemma. So instead, we decided to start on the opposite side, which is over here. First thing you'll notice is, I did already start the second half of the castle. And just the first level. I think that's what I used the mortar that we made in the last episode on.
You know, each level eats a ton of bricks and mortar.
Yeah, it does. Uh-oh.
So this
Uh-oh.
What is uh-oh?
What am I doing? I don't think my character is supposed to be on a slope this all right, let's just
You should be fine.
ease our way down.
Yeah.
There we go.
So this whole area, I had to terraform it so that we could get materials down. Like this was a cliff over there, so you wouldn't be able to drive a cart down or anything.
There's the exit. Oh my god.
Terraformed. I didn't terraform it all flat because eventually I want to put it back the way it was. But I terraformed it so that you can walk along it. You can bring a cart. I had to bring down this wall of dirt, this huge wall of dirt that was there. And yeah, this is how we're gonna get
like nice entrance to this side of the.
And by the way,
and a pig got stuck in there.
At some point or another, I would like to even out that.
Oh my god, you're going to want to dig this whole place down? Oh, just to bring this down.
Just to make it so that
or
No, bring the other side up.
Bring the other side up.
Yes.
Can you do that in a corner?
As long as the slopes are less than 26, I think it is. Which I don't know if they are.
Huh. Okay. So what does it need to be here? 17, so you have to raise it 7.
That's okay. We'll do that later.
All right.
Collapse it and put it back together.
All right. So you started a little bit here. So based on what we want, this will be a lot better. I think on this side what we want is to tunnel in a little bit and then make a giant drop. Is that correct?
Exactly. In fact, I almost feel like the tile that I'm standing on right now
is the big drop.
Going to be the big drop.
Not the tile you're standing on, is it? The one
so
in.
This, one in. Like it'll be essentially. So I don't know if you want to explain
how like a couple
how this is. I don't know if you want to explain how this is going to end up being at the end.
So this side, what we're going to do is we're going to have a giant drop, and then we're going to build a house at the bottom to bring it back up. Does that make sense? So that then we can connect a bridge over to the exit.
Exactly. So I think that this tile that I'm standing on is going to be the one that's going to be going straight down.
Oh, okay. So you're only doing one tile. Is that possible to have a bridge on the entrance tile?
That's a good question.
Maybe we should go one more in. Like, I'm okay with that. Unless we have some kind of... I don't know. We have kind of loose plans down here at the moment.
Right.
We have ideas and main things that we need to have, but what's happening around it isn't so structured at the moment.
Right.
All right, so forward first. And you know what I think is a good idea?
What's that?
We played this game a long time.
Hmm.
We played this game. How long do you think? 4 or 5 years?
Definitely since 2012. That's for
So
sure.
since 2012, I know it's like February of 2012, something like that.
Mm.
And since then, we've had a lot of discussion about this game, especially on our show and off the show, about why we like this game, why we don't like this game, why we think this game is just lots of discussion.
Right. I remember way back then, I even went so far as making a blog
You made
about
a
how
blog.
we started out and like had the whole story. I like the experience of starting this game was just, I don't know, so amazing that it inspired me to
write.
and it
It
inspired us to
inspired
create
him
these videos
to write. And
to
it
write.
and nothing has inspired him to write since then. Or no. It's inspired us to create these videos
Yep.
for we never did videos before ever, I don't believe.
No.
And we're still doing them. And that's kind of crazy, the fact that we've been doing this for so long. This game has something about it that we love. And I think it's great that every now and then to just talk about why this game has been so special for us. So I just want to spend the first little while, like, let's kind of figure out. I know we've talked about this before, but if you had to talk like right now, why is this game so special? What would you say?
I don't know. There's no other game that's sort of captivated me in the way that this game has, and it mostly has to do with the way that you have to go about figuring out the game and solving problems and, you know, coming up with interesting ways to, essentially solve problems and figure out how to get around obstacles. Like, for instance, this mine that we're creating right now. We have an idea of what we wanted to do, but there were so many things that had to, you know, happen. Like that ramp had to be built, the mine door had to be fixed. It was just like crazy. And now we're like doing what we wanted to do, but I don't even know what's going to happen here. Like, same with how we were building
that. What we're doing.
That we had that idea of the house that was dug down to the rock and it came right back up and had bridges attached to it.
We had no idea if it was going to work or not.
Yeah, we go and dig a big hole and put up this house, and it's like, just to see how it ends up is amazing. And I love how these projects go and how, you know, we can do some crazy stuff here and people enjoy it. I don't know, it's fun. I enjoy it.
And if I had to answer that question right now personally, I would say I love how the game allows us to keep playing even if our play styles change. I mean, when we started, we were playing a lot. We were in the game a lot. Since then, we went through like an exploration phase, like all the normal phases that normal players go through, right? They explore the wilderness, they explore their skills, they explore building and like all that stuff, and we did that. And then we went through the phase of grinding skills and going through the economy and like all that stuff. And now it's like it's adjusted to the fact that we have less playtime and we are enjoying kind of like different aspects to this game right now. And yet we're still able to play. It's adjusted to our time. Like when we started playing, you had one kid and he was like an infant, essentially. like he was like a little guy. And you had like a lot more time. You'd be like, yeah, he's going to bed at like really early, lots of time to play. And now you got 2 kids, and it's like so much less time, but the game allows for that to happen.
True. Like as a parent, this game has been amazing because you can, you know,
And you're not the only parent that said that. We've had
yeah.
people in our alliance, people in our village who was in the same boat as you and was able to play because of the way that the game can adjust to your play style, to the time that you have, and like all that stuff.
Right.
I mean, it's one of the reasons why we're still able to play. We wouldn't be able to play if the game still required so much of our time
Right.
to just do anything. Are you able to move
This is going
the
to
items
pose
into the crate?
a problem. I almost feel like we need to bring some empty crates over here, eh?
Oh, I thought you thought you did.
Now, all of the stuff that's in this wagon is the materials for the
wow.
building that we're going to build at the
Oh
bottom
wow. Oh wow, you really packed this thing.
here. So,
I
we
hate
need
to do this, but
you know what? You keep mining, and I will go get the crate, unless you want to go get the wagon.
I'm going to discard some of these. I hope no one's out there cringing, being like, "Oh, you're discarding 70 quality, 90 quality rock shard. Don't discard." Yeah, I just
Okay, so am I leaving this wagon here, then? Or are we going to get...
if you have the ability to get out now, get out now.
What do you mean by that?
If the cart can leave before you gotta let the cart leave before we get too low, and we're not able to get in and out.
We have to keep the cart in here, or like I guess what I can do is just put the crates down.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yes. There we go.
I don't want to keep mining, and then make it so you can't actually get back in.
I'm not sure. I feel like we'll be able to get out once the building's back up. You know what I mean?
We hope so.
Like, here's the problem. I don't want to leave these horses
probably...
off deed. So See, my plan was to bring the wagon down.
Yeah.
But now we're not bringing the wagon down, so...
Why aren't we bringing the wagon down?
I don't know. It sounded like you wanted the...
No, I mean,
crates.
I wanted you to go get some more crates.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Crates to put rock shards on. In. Alright, so anyway, as we're figuring this out, what else do we got? We need to... I think I pretty much took care of all of those rock shards. Now we're able to keep going. So what else? I mean, that was the reason why that I would give, I guess. I mean, there's lots of reasons why we love this game. One of the many reasons, and I've seen this, I mean, on the forums a few times recently, about what people like about this game when they first started, is and I think everybody can agree with this. The fact that there's something about the community that's special, right?
Absolutely.
They play the game. The game itself has the features necessary for us to enjoy, but it's the community surrounding that's in the game, that's kind of like surrounding the essence of the game, that brings the whole thing to life, that makes the whole thing work. Right? Without the community, this game doesn't work. And I think you could say that for mostly all good massive multiplayer online games.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, even when we were playing back in EverQuest, without people, it would
Totally.
just kind of be a lifeless, I don't know, lifeless world of just NPCs just wandering aimlessly like forever. So where am I going with this? There's been a lot of discussion about how they're going to change the new player experience. Right? So the devs' goal right now, and they've stated this a number of times, is how do they retain the new players that keep coming in and leave right away due to whatever it is. And they figured out, they pinpointed down sort of the reasons why players leave to something that they can control, right? So the things that devs can control that they could try to improve to make it so those players don't leave so fast, they're going to try to do. And that comes down to the UI. So the first thing that players leave for is the fact that they look at the UI and yeah, it looks dated. It's true. And two, it's kind of like, I don't know if the word like confusing is the word, because it's not really that confusing. But cluttered. Maybe it is for them. Cluttered and not scalable. Yeah. So, of course, I mean, we talked about the UI in the last episode. Do they do a complete overhaul? Do they do tweaks? I don't know. Like the fact that it's not just the UI that I think that they need to look at, but it's the way that the game is played. And I know, like, we don't need the change. We managed to get used to the way that the game's played, right? We managed to get used to left clicking to move, to look around.
I mean, part of it was the experience of doing that made this game unique, you know?
That's right. But we know and we're aware of the fact that the game, that's one of its shortcomings. And that's one of the reasons why players leave. It's one of them. And would I still play if they changed it? Yes, I would. Right? I'd still play it if they made it better for other players to get started. Anyway.
Totally.
Anyway, so one of the reasons why people said they love the game is the community. Like new players, they come in and they're like, well, I'm not sure about the game, I'm not sure about the controls, I'm not sure about what I'm doing, but one thing I'm sure about is that people are really, really nice. People made the game worth staying and figuring out whether I like it.
You know why I think that is because everybody knows the hardship of, starting out in this game.
Yeah.
Like everybody can relate to that. And when a new player joins and we see that person struggling and they really enjoying the game, but, struggling to figure it out, we feel for them. We can relate to them, like we want to help them out.
There's a good question. Should we want to give users that experience, that wonder, all the things that we love about Wurm, the enchanting bewilderness of Wurm, the I don't know, like the exploration that we feel when we go through the game. Do we want to give them that without the community needing to be involved? Do we want to strip away the community in order to give them a new player experience? Or should we?
Like, what do you mean by that?
Should we make people learn the game
on their own?
On their own. Through some kind of tutorial that's designed to make them learn the game and learn why they should love the game.
Right.
Can a tutorial do that? Can a tutorial convey the reasons why they should love the game? Right? because that's what it needs to do. The tutorial should not be like, here's how to do this and here's how to do that and here's like these are the features and controls of the game, because that's not what made people stay. Right?
I agree with you on this. Actually,
we went through the tutorial at the time. It was like, it was kind of like that, right? Please chop a tree. Please climb over this. Please, like do that. Make a mallet and then run through here and see how you go slow here and see how you go fast here and see how. Yeah. And then we played the game, and most people like either leave, like I did. I entered the game and said, I don't know what I'm doing. And then, like, I left for a while, like a month or something like that. Didn't touch the game. So the question is, so what made us stay was what? We came back, we, became part of the community. Mm-hmm. We have all those experiences where we dug a hole for that guy. He paid us money to dig a hole. He paid us money for making planks for him. We're like, what? We could just chop down these trees next to you and you'll pay us money for that?
Right. And they use those planks to create a house that would be like permanent in the world.
Yeah. And
that was mind-blowing to me at the time, that people could just create a house however they want, wherever they want.
We could just dig this hole and to like whatever he wanted. We didn't even know what he wanted. I think he ended up wanting an entrance to his mine. Yeah. But he didn't want to dig it himself. So he hired us to dig it.
Right.
And we did that. So and that became enchanting for us, and that led to like the exploration in the game, that led us to exploring all around the Deliverance server, everywhere, until we found our own spot. I mean, at that point we were pretty hooked.
Right.
Before we even got to the exploration phase, we were hooked by the community.
Right. Yeah, we were still around the newbie area.
How do we give that new player experience, but without the community? That's one question. Is it possible? And then the second question would be, should we do that? Is that something we should even do? What do you think?
I don't know.
Is it possible?
Is it possible to like give that to everybody? To give that
or you can't give it. You can never give that experience to everybody, even with the community, right? But I mean, could you create an experience that mimicks that?
The thing is that you would have to have people who are working on projects, who are willing to pay new players and take them in and show them around and let them like create planks for coin or dig a hole for coin. And I guess all of it would be part of like a person's project, and it would be for the community, I guess.
So how do you do that without the community?
You can't.
So you don't feel that there's a way to give players some kind of taste, some kind of, I don't know, we're trying to give them some kind of newbie experience that mimics what the real game is that we all love.
That's hard, because what we love about the game is everything that comes with, playing the game, exploring and finding a spot and terraforming it all. And like, how can you show that in a tutorial?
See, this is the only thing I could think of, and I don't know if it'll work, because for this to work, it needs to feel like what you're doing matters. And there's two things that would stop that from happening. And the first one is, if you have too many players doing the same thing as you, it doesn't feel like it matters. It feels like you're on a treadmill.
Right.
If they're like, oh, go build that fence, and like 20 players are trying to build this fence, And the NPC's like, oh, we need this fence like really bad because these, I don't know, wolves are attacking us or whatever. Like it just feels like
I don't
too
know. That could be
scripted.
actually kind of cool.
Yeah. Now listen, it would be cool if there was one, maybe two of you guys, and the NPC's like, well, this is like a really bad thing, and like wolves come and they freaking kill you.
Yeah.
And then you come back, and then you're like still building like the fence. Like that's reality. That's what we love about this game.
Right.
But I mean, if there's 20 people building this fence,
I mean,
and
I
then
wonder if they could. I wonder if they
the
could
fence has to go away and then come back and like
Yeah. I wonder if they could use the mission ruler for something like this. I feel like it would be complicated, but if you could make it so that you start something with somebody and it could be build a fence, but like every
does the fence have to go away, or do they have to use a different spot?
maybe the fence would have to go away, like it's a one-time thing, and
Can
maybe
we not do this corner because the wagon's in the way?
the server could get reset every hour.
Yeah.
Something like
If
that.
if it gets reset, does it make you feel like you've done nothing?
I mean, it could be just put one segment of this fence in, and it just continually gets built until it's done, and then I don't know. Then another mission will continue until the reset happens.
You got
Like
the rock
another
shards on the
mission.
ground?
Oh, I see. Such as another mission could make them build a different stone fence or somewhere else. I don't know. Whatever. There could be several of these things all over the place. And it could be like a little mini server.
So you want like an entire server where
Everything
people
resets very often.
Right.
And maybe even just daily.
Right? I don't think it should be daily. I think there should be. I feel okay. This is how I would feel. Okay, so first I'll tell you what I think should happen, and then you can tell me what needs to happen in order for that to take place.
Okay.
All right. So player spawns in.
Yeah.
And you're in this sort of unfinished wildernessy outposty area with one NPC or a couple NPCs or something.
Okay.
And the NPC is basically saying like, whoa, I think you're digging too far.
Oh, sorry. Said I'm going too fast.
Yeah, you are. So sorry. You come in and you learn whatever the backstory is to this outpost.
Okay.
Like whatever reason they're out there for. Maybe it's necessary that they're there for some reason.
Maybe just be pioneering
for
or
family.
Whatever. Yeah.
It would have to be like they came from a big town or something, and they're here for a reason. Maybe they're here to mine.
Okay.
Right? Maybe they're here to mine special
Mining
ore
outpost.
that's near. Yeah.
Sure.
Or and they need to reinforce it. Or maybe there could be multiple scenarios. Maybe they're there to like build a shipyard, or maybe they're there to do whatever.
Okay.
There could be like
How
multiple
about-
scenarios, and people get placed randomly to one of them.
Okay.
So like players could spawn, and their job is to build a nice mine, whereas another player could spawn. Their job is to build like a nice little outpost kingdomy area for something or other. Whatever.
Okay.
Their job could be in the end to build like a tower. And they would have goals to complete, newbie goals, that would eventually lead them to doing all of their firsts, like digging this or making their mallet, and like doing stuff that matters, right? They don't need a mallet because they're telling them to make a mallet. You need a mallet because this person told them to build a fence, and there's a reason why they need that fence.
Right.
Right? So it's not like, hi, you should make a mallet. This is how you make a mallet. It's, we need you to make this fence because, wolves are out to get us or something. Like, I don't know. And then So the player's like, I don't know how to make a fence. And then like the NPC would be like, oh, well, to make a fence,
Chop trees.
you need a mallet.
Right.
Like a mallet's a tool to use, and they're like, I don't know how to make a mallet. Like it goes through that experience. Like that's what we all go through. And then after they complete their goals, whatever they are, in this small outpost, and let's say these goals could take weeks. They could it's like you live there. The players live there, so you give them like all the amenities that they need, everything that they could possibly need, and so like food and like they shouldn't have to worry about this sort of thing. It's almost like you joined a deed, and you're just a villager of that deed, right? So
now, in order for this to work, like you would almost need a scenario system.
Few players to be in each one, right? Because you don't want to overload one of these little places with tons of players. So there would have to be lots of them all the way around, lots of different scenarios. And then after they finish their goal, the NPC's like, well, thank you so much for helping. Think you can take it from here. You can go off an adventure now, but if you want, or like one last quest that makes them journey towards the big city that the guy's from. So that it's almost like they leave the small outpost that they've been living for whatever, a week, 2 weeks, a month, who cares how long they're there. And all of a sudden they emerge from the forest or whatever it is, and down below or whatever they see this like giant village, this giant like town. And it's, to me, that would be the players just being like wow, like I just came from this small little place and here's this big town, and showing them the possibilities of what could be accomplished after they know how hard it is to do stuff. So it's not like, here's a big town and people are like, I don't know, like looks like a big town to me. Like they don't have any frame of reference for how hard it is to play this game. But at this point they do, and it's more I don't know, it's more inspirational when they see that. And then all they have to do is go there to the town, and that maybe somehow will end up transporting them out to the real game.
Where they start with nothing, and
where they start with whatever they could take from that outpost.
Okay,
like,
but what about the 500?
Even if they want to bring like a cart or whatever, who cares? Like, let them bring the.
You know what? The issue that I see with this is that people might get to the point where they want to stay where they were. You know, like where they've accumulated things, and
so make it so you can't have any deeds. Make it so you can't get past a specific skill level on that server.
Okay.
Make it so people want to leave.
All right. I mean, it would be interesting if you set it up so that people
can't come back, right? So
like people play the game in the tutorial for several hours before coming over to the real game. Could be
several hours, but I'm saying, you know, you're trying to get them to build a bond. Now, also make it so if you're a skilled player, a veteran player, that you could just skip it. Just walk to the big town and leave.
Right.
Like, you don't have to stay in the outpost.
True.
Or you could stay in the outpost, help new players out, be that community-driven.
Right.
Presence.
That would give you opportunity to spend some time over there. It would give an alternative play style.
Like if you like being on a newbie server, then do it. Like don't need to stop them. The problem comes if there's too many players in one spot. But I think the idea of having multiple scenarios all the way around this server, and like that's all the server's for, gives each player a unique Wurm experience that's different than each other, but it gives them the authentic, as much as possible, Wurm experience. Do you think this is possible?
I think it's possible. I don't know if
Is that too much to ask?
we're
Like
yeah,
an
exactly.
entire scenario system.
It would take a long time to put together, I'm sure. And I'm not sure if there's the tools.
Oh, there's not the tools. They'd have to build the tools.
They'd have to build the tools in order to, create something like this, which I think might be the thing that prevents it from happening. But it sounds great. Like, it sounds like, I love the idea now that you are discussing it, about a place, like a server where people spend their time on for a little while at the beginning before jumping onto the real servers.
And the reason why we haven't discussed this before is because I just sort of made this up as we were but yeah, it makes sense. That's why I like discussing this thing. I'm glad we were hitting the record button at this point. We discuss these things all the time and forget what we just said the next day. Yeah, so that's what I think needs to happen. That's what I think would attract the right players to this game and at least give players a taste of the game before they decide to quit.
Now there's other things that cause people to quit. I feel like
obviously there's tons of stuff.
I mean,
had a friend once that quit just because he's like, how do I get out of first person view? You can't. He's like, I can't play this then. And he just quit.
That's a little bit weird.
Yeah.
Or over the top, I'd say. But
that's okay.
I feel like this game is somewhat of a niche game, in the sense that not everybody wants to create stuff for no reason whatsoever. You know what I mean? The game tailors itself to specific types of people, and there is a range of people within that, but it's a very small set of people. But the thing is that there's people out there that are discovering this game right now, and they are falling in love with it just as we fell in love with it years ago.
Yeah, and the same sort of way.
The question is, how do you keep those people who would fall in love with it if they could get past the initial stages of the game?
Yeah, so there's different stages, right? There's that initial stage of the game that we were just talking about, and then there's that stage that comes after. Not everybody ends up joining a village. Some people like to go off on their own. Not everybody gets to the point where they kind of become a part of the community in any way. And yet they played, for quite a while. They did all the newbie stuff. They mined, they digged, they made a house. They did all this stuff, but didn't really become a part of the community at all. And at some point they say, okay, what else? What should I do?
Right.
And there's that phase. So how do you get around that?
I don't know. How do you get around that? I mean, people are just going to do what they do, you know what I mean? So there's not really much that you can do about.
So I figured out a way.
Okay.
That could kill two birds with one stone. And this goes back to our discussion that we had about endgame. How do we give players endgame? What is endgame in a game like Wurm? We're gonna have to clear this again. I should just keep it open.
I don't know where to put this cart. It's really in the way. It's we have to deal with it though as we do this. Maybe if I put the cart into does it disappear mostly that way?
It does, yeah.
Okay. How do I get it
So
straight?
before I forget what I was talking about. So how do we give veteran players... I think at some point we decided a couple things. One, we decided not only did we have... I think we sort of defined what endgame in Wurm is, which was sort of like, to me, was as many new features as we could come up with. We talked about alternate advanced systems. We talked about just features that unlock at a high... features that unlock at a high level.
At a high combat, yeah, a high skill.
Or high skill. No, different things that we did. Just more features, right? That unlock progressively throughout the game. To give some variation and to unlock some new things that we haven't done before, right? If you consider like building a house a feature, like how do we expand that?
Right.
And so here is a feature that could help that, while at the same time solving the new player experience in a different way. And it's sort of like, and I'm sorry if this was brought up somewhere in the forums, I know there's a lot of smart people out there, some kind of mentor system. I believe... Okay. I don't know if I played a game with something like this.
Do you mean like something built in, or something that's kind of similar to like Community Assistant?
It's going to be something built into the game.
Interesting.
Right? And an entire system that the game helps and rewards players, let's say experienced players, from helping new players.
Okay.
I mean, there's some players right now that love to just help new players all the time. That's like what they do. They help new players. They love the socialization. They love seeing, like, and we did this a bunch back in our Delhi days. We love seeing how new players progress and helping them out. And we don't get any reward other than the fact that we like doing it.
Right.
But what if the game rewarded those players?
That's interesting.
And rewarded new players. Where, think of something similar to like the achievement system, where you have to achieve certain goals. So a new player has to come in and they have to achieve certain goals that they will get when they find a mentor. So almost like the mentor's giving them these goals through the system. And if the new player accomplishes them, then the mentor will get some form of reward, some form of like, could be like experience, mentor skill, mentor points, something. I'll use the example of EverQuest. There was a group experience. No, sorry. There was
like an original
at some
EverQuest?
point. Yeah, so in the original EverQuest, they added the ability to become a leader. Okay. And what all that meant was all that meant was that you could decide, yeah, I want to be a leader of a group. And you turn on this like checkbox, say I'm going to be a leader. And when you're in a group, you would gain leadership experience. And then you would use that leadership experience, would convert to like points. After you gain a specific amount of leadership experience, you get 1 leadership point. And then you take that point and you can spend it on ways to improve your group's ability to do stuff.
I kind of
So
remember that.
whoever's in your group gains that ability because you're the leader of that group.
And I kind of remember you had to turn off your regular skilling.
It siphons some of your regular skilling
Right.
experience into the leadership pool.
I remember that.
Which we could do that. Like, I don't know,
Yeah.
this game would have the ability. But so imagine you have a mentorship. So you mentor somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And there could be, like, however it works, there could be a list of things that the guy needs to accomplish, and the guy's saying, or the new player saying, oh, I would like to, it says I have to do, I don't know, build a house, but I don't know how to do that.
Now,
And you say, well, you need
I have
to make planks and like whatever.
I have a thought that might throw a wrench into this idea.
Yeah.
How would you prevent people from abusing this system?
In what way?
Like for example, let's say I create an alt and I become a mentor of my alt, and then I just get my alt to do the achievements, and then I get the reward for that.
So why would that be a problem?
Like, people would just do that over and over again. You know what I mean?
So why would that be a problem? Imagine this. The only way to mentor someone to the fullest extent, they would have to, let's say, be premium.
Okay. That's one way to avoid it.
If it's a free player, maybe there's free player stuff that you can do, which can gain you stuff. Or maybe if it's premium, you would get a lot more experience, or you would unlock the premium player mentor stuff from that player. Maybe, I mean, what's the point of, there would have to be a point of farming it. Like, what is the rewards, right? The rewards can't be groundbreaking, but they could be something that you would like. I mean, in this kind of system, like, what is it? The mentor system for a new player would be vital, right? Like, this is something that they need because it helps them learn the game. It helps them become part of the community. It helps them show why this game's so great. We're trying to keep them around.
Whoa, hold on one second.
The mentor system.
We're running into an issue here. Hold on.
Can we not go down anymore?
Nope. We reached the limit for how far the ceiling can be away from the ground.
I see.
Okay. Now, the only problem I'm seeing is that this tile has to be flat.
So you need to concrete.
Have concrete. Do we have concrete?
We do have concrete, just not here.
Okay.
Which could be a problem.
Let's try to flatten it to that back corner there.
All right.
And if we can't, then we have to pull out the concrete.
The system for a veteran player is an optional one, right? It's another feature within the game for them to partake in if they choose, and if they choose, they get some rewards for it.
Right.
But nothing that you need, nothing that you go, well, you're gonna have to do this mentorship because you need that in order to be a better player or something. So I wrote down like some examples.
Okay.
You could become a mentor, and here's examples that are completely they're not in the game at all. We don't have systems like this in place, so it's going to seem kind of foreign, and you're going to be like, do I really want this? Okay, so the first thing, like, how about unlocking more emotes? Special emotes you can unlock. Either your character could do something, maybe dance, or your character could like do something new.
Dance. People would love to do that.
Like, whatever. Like, it's just an example. Like some kind of system like that. Like, just a little more emotes. Like you could take
Yeah.
your points and you could be like, yeah, I want that emote, and you like choose it.
It could also be cosmetic, like,
Could be cosmetic. Could be like a special tabard or something.
right.
Or in what I would rather do, and this is what I'm not sure. See, I would love this system. Instead of giving out the tabard, it's like they would give out the ability or the recipe to make that tabard.
You know what I just realized? We forgot the reinforcement.
So now that we can't get out,
All right, so I'm gonna try my best to unload my
oh no.
inventory so that I can climb out of here. Oh my goodness.
Good luck.
We're like, we can just go all the way down to the bottom and then
Did I even
just
turn on
build
my
the building right back up to the top.
I did not even turn on my lantern
Oh my goodness.
because it has no oil. All right, let's fill it.
All right, what don't
Can I see
need
better?
here?
We need to get right there. We need to make it to the mature pig. Can you make it to the mature pig?
All right, let's see if I can do it.
Let's cheer him on.
Because
There he goes.
if I can't, I have no idea what we're gonna do here.
You could even unload what you're wearing.
Right. I think that makes a difference.
Do we have any wine? Doesn't wine give you stamina?
We don't have any wine at the
Do you have
bottom
refresh?
of this cave. I do have refresh.
Oh, nice. You can make it almost all the way up and refresh.
All right, that's what we're gonna do. Although I think I'm gonna make it.
You're going to make it?
I'm at 75% or so.
Wow, you're almost there.
Yeah. Although I always underestimate this part where I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna make it. It's like, whoa, it's still so far away and I don't make it in the end.
How are you doing now?
I'm clipping through the floor, but I'm about near the top. And I'm still above 50, so I made it.
Nice. Well, good job. That was 300 slope.
Was that 300 slope? I don't think so.
No, wait. How much is the slope from top to bottom could be?
Well, I think it includes this,
It includes the ceiling. So you made it up, what, 200 slope? I don't know what it is.
You
Wait,
can now
we
examine
can see
the borders.
224. There you go.
Yeah. We're
You made
so
it up
used to not being
224.
able to examine the border.
I know, right?
It's so foreign to us. But you know what? If we didn't have that, this job, we wouldn't have been able to do what we just did.
Yeah,
We would have had to count it out.
that's true. I'm so happy that we're able to see it flow. We are able to see whether a ground tile is flat. I love the tile borders in mines. Anyway, so what else could be a reward? Special. See, this is what I like. Having special recipes as rewards, almost like you uncover or discover some new set of chairs that you can make.
I see. Now, here's the
Or-
issue with that is that you need to create a whole asset,
Yeah.
like a whole new model,
Yes.
and it'll only be exclusively for people who do this thing.
At first, yes.
Although I guess those
So
things get
then-
distributed.
Now think about it. They'll get distributed. At first,
Right.
when it gets introduced and you become the person that discovers this, like
Right.
that person's like, wow, I can create this item, and people are like, wow, you can get that item, and then that person starts selling it or distributing it or whatever, and then more people catch on and more people learn it, and it gets more people to want to do that. Okay.
Right.
Now imagine you make lots of systems like this in the future. This is what I consider endgame to Wurm. Not just the mentor system. That's one of them. Now you
Oh,
have some
I
other system.
should have
Did
told
you
you I was
just
on my way
fall?
down. Yeah.
I just saw you fall. So
Yeah.
yeah, imagine you have other systems that you also have to get points or whatever, or you
Hmm.
have to progress through so that you can discover other assets.
Right.
And imagine there's 5 systems, 10 systems for players to discover and to go through and to like learn new recipes for. The end game becomes, which one of these do you want to do? Which one seems more appealing? I mean,
Right.
and what rewards do you get for that? And then imagine a system that allows you to teach others what you've learned.
In what way?
It would have to be a system that is limited in some way,
Okay.
but something that they can go through, some worm way of doing it where 2 people could collaborate by building certain things, by initiating something within the game. And it could potentially be like a new skill that they have to raise to do this, and like combination of skills and items and stuff that allow them to teach one of their recipes to the other person. So if you've gone down like one road, but you're another player, you're never gonna mentor, or you're never gonna do like one of these other things, but you kind of like that chair. Well, there could be another skill that allows you to teach that player that chair over time. So you could have like the ability to share stuff, but in a worm way that takes a long time and is a whole other system in itself.
Mm-hmm.
So at some point you're able to interconnect all these things or sell them, or do something. How about this way? It's a system that allows you to like transcribe or like scribe down the recipe that you learned or the formula or whatever.
Okay.
And you can make one of these to sell to other players. But in order to make it, it takes like a lot of resources. It takes a long time. It's a skill in itself.
I see.
You
So
have
that
to
would be
bring
like
up.
the spread of wealth through the mechanics of the game and through the economy,
Yeah.
and the spread of these skills.
I mean, that comes after this whole discovery phase of all these features that get uncovered and that sort of thing. Anyway, I'm just saying it's another way to make it so for the people that say, well, how about if I don't want to do mentoring? Well,
Right.
then you still have the ability to get it, and they're like through that way. Whereas there'll be other systems in place that you might like better. And this is what Worm's all about, right? I don't like mining, but how do I get the benefits of mining? Well, you like mining, so you go and mine, and I get the benefits of that.
Interesting. I kind of like it.
It brings a new side of Worm. Worm's never done recipes before. Worm's never done the distribution of items, because in Worm we're just like, well, I'm a carpenter, I should be able to build anything I want. I should just be able to be smart enough to know how to build everything, and we accept that as that's just who we are. Every player is smart enough to know how to build everything as long as you have the items.
Now, they introduced something like with recipes with the cooking system.
With cooking, yeah, I heard about that.
Right. You haven't done any of the cooking
I
stuff,
haven't
have you?
done any of the cooking stuff yet.
Right.
So
yeah.
are people accepting of that kind of thing?
I mean, I think so. There's
Like, you don't
even
know how to
recipes
cook
that-
everything, right?
yeah, there's even definitely you don't know how to cook.
And you have to
Nearly-
discover these things?
You have to discover them by either like putting stuff in a pan and sort of it gives you some information in the examine window what to do next. Like it might say, have you tried adding oil to this, or have you tried, you know.
Right. So imagine that could be put into tons of other types of systems.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, something for endgame. That's to me what endgame is in Worm, right?
Right.
The continuation of being able to discover new things and discover different ways of playing this game.
Right. Totally. I mean, this is all just like wishful thinking, but
Yeah,
at the
obviously.
same yeah, but at the same time, like I feel like this game, I mean, it's been moving like crazy fast in development recently, but I feel like there has to be like something next, something that goes above and beyond all the little things that this game has.
Well, we know something's next.
Oh
That
yeah,
skill
totally.
that was revealed. We just don't know what it is and what it
Right.
means.
You're right. I'm actually kind of interested about what it could be.
Yeah, I think we all are. Definitely. Can only speculate at this point.
Right.
Anyway, that's sort of a combination of the new player experience, my thoughts, and more endgame, and like how to bridge those two
Yeah, and
together.
bring them
Um,
together.
but definitely, yeah. I don't know. Any more thoughts on that before?
I mean, I've recently been spending a lot of time on Mystic Highlands, which I
Yeah,
mentioned before, and I've been experiencing the new player experience. Like as I'm
that's
playing
right.
on a one-time server, so like it's super slow. That's not exactly what I expected to happen. Oh wait, yeah, never mind. It is.
It's coming down, right?
I see it coming down now. Yeah, so playing as a new player, like you can see a lot of the issues and reasons why a new player might not want to continue. Like there were times where I totally felt like I was just about to just not continue on with it, but I've been, because I know what
Can you
the
tell me like one moment that happened?
mining. I really don't know how I got through mining on this character, but mining like
You're talking
really
about the
drove me nuts.
timers?
Yeah, I'm mostly talking about the timers.
Well,
Um,
well, here's one comment that we had on YouTube, I believe,
mhm.
where Bits and Reviews said, if mining would be faster, then people would just hollow out mountains as fast as they can, and also they would mine very long tunnels, and they would just be able to do it like so fast, and that he saw that on, or she, on
Right.
Wurm Unlimited. Like some Wurm Unlimited servers are like so fast, people are just like mining it out like crazy, and
Hmm.
that could be really annoying because it's really hard to get rid of mines. That's why it's so long,
Right.
I believe, because it's so hard to remove what you've done.
Right. And I totally agree with that to an extent, but at the same time, you have to remember that on a Worm Unlimited server, uh, mining timers and mining what's it like the number of actions per tile can all be adjusted. And so, you're gonna have some servers where mining out things go way too fast. Like super
Yeah, I
fast.
think some people don't grasp really. It's hard to grasp this sometimes. The difference between making mining faster and only making the longest mining time faster, but not
Right.
making all mining times. Like, because eventually mining becomes fast,
Right.
right?
Like
We're
I
not
could
trying to
go
speed that up.
I could go to the starter area and just open up 50 tunnel entrances, and it would barely take me,
Yeah,
the
it's
other side of an
possible in
hour.
Worm to do that, but
Right.
what we're talking about is instead of 20-second timer, instead of having the longest timer 20 seconds, why can't we have the longest timer, I don't know, 15 seconds, even short,
Right.
12 seconds? Like,
Why not make it in line with woodcutting or another skill of the same, like I found that, here's the thing. My woodcutting started out, pretty slow. The first action was like
yeah,
15 seconds or something like that, maybe 16 seconds even, which was slow. But as my skill got, increased, that timer continually got better. And I think maybe I might be at 12 seconds now or something like that. But I'm seeing that progression. Whereas with mining, it starts at 20 seconds and your skill goes up, but it stays at 20 seconds. And this is due to like the way that the mining has been coded. It used to be that mining actions were way longer than 20 seconds. Like, I think the first one was 30 seconds. And then there was like, it would get better from 30 seconds right away. As soon as your mining skill went up, it went from
okay.
29 seconds to 28 seconds. But at some point or another, they entered like a cap. Like the longest that your first mining action can be is 20 seconds.
But they didn't change the progression at all.
Right, but they didn't change the progression. So you're still like starting at 30 seconds, but it caps you at 20. And then as your skill goes up, you're like still at 29, but it caps you at 20. Now you're at 28 and it caps you at 20. Right? And it does that for quite a long time because you can get to 20 mining skill and have a decent pickaxe and still be at 20-second mining actions.
So even for you, you would just want to adjust the way it progresses as you level.
Right. Like even if it started at 20 seconds and as my mining skill went up, it started getting slower, like faster.
Yeah.
That I would totally be okay with, It's just that I like it feels like there's something wrong is all, Something's wrong with it.
I guess so. Yeah. It's probably what turned me off on mining. I don't know. No, it's probably the dark spaces. You're right. And what else? You were telling me something about how it was very hard to keep your food bar up.
Okay.
So what's up with that?
I mean, when I started a new character, when Release and Pristine came out, I was able to keep my food bar up using casseroles. For some odd reason, casseroles were had a wide of a range of quality that it could turn out. Like I think back then things were more like you had a very low chance, yet still a chance of making an 80 quality something meal, or you could forage an 80 quality item even though your foraging skill was like low. Like there was that much more variation. So as a low level cooking person, I could cook casseroles and they would sometimes come out at 30 quality or 40 quality or whatever, and that would be great because it would sustain me decently, and casseroles actually had a decent chance at doing that. I think now it's a lot more challenging as a new player to feed yourself because everything that comes out is very close to your skill and there's very little things that you can do to make it better. And so what ends up happening is you get these low quality meals that take forever to fill up your food bar. Like you could eat 5 kilograms of this stuff and it's only going to increase your food bar by 20% or something like that. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that I don't know. I made stews, and stews seem to come out about 10 above my skill.
Well,
which is, okay. But
did it help?
Did stews help or what?
Yeah. Did the
stews? I mean, a little bit. Like I'm slowly gaining, and I'm still like at the point where I'm out of food again, and my food bars are low. Like
here's the question:
keep it up.
You're saying that they made this whole new system, the cooking system.
Yeah.
Aren't there like something new or something different that you could be making?
Yeah, there is, but everything that I make comes out really low quality, and so I completely consume it before it fills up my food bar, or I'm able to fill up my food bar once maybe, and I'll have to go foraging again and cooking again to like sustain myself. And the best thing that I found so far were stews, because you can keep them in a barrel and peg them so that they stay good, and you just make a ton of it. But because every time I go eat, I eat 5 kilograms of it, because it's filling my food bar like maybe
Very
1% every
little.
5 seconds of eating. Like, it's ridiculous.
So do you feel like there should be a change or
I
a
mean,
better progression to that?
the progression I feel should be that, or at least it's not a progression. I feel like as a new character, you should be able to sustain yourself with food, um, without having to devote so much time to making food. You know what I
Do you
mean?
feel like there's something that we don't know? Maybe there is a way, and we just don't know it with the new cooking system.
Maybe there is a way. I mean, the only way I've found out is you have to level your cooking. Like, you have to spend the time and grind it out and get it
Hmm.
up there, or rely on other people to give you food. If
Which
you can
always
find some
helps,
nice people.
right?
Yeah, but I mean, if you're,
I don't know. Maybe people can tell us. Maybe there's something we don't know about the new cooking system that would allow Adam to not always be hungry on the Mystic Highland server.
yeah. Well, I mean, on any server, like, I feel like a lot of the servers on Worm Unlimited are fast, so that you can cook a bunch of meals and your skill like skyrockets up there. Whereas if you're playing on Worm Online or on a server where the skills are going at the same rate as Worm Online, um, it's definitely you definitely feel it. You definitely feel the pinch of, okay, now I have to go spend an hour to forage in order to make the food that I
Yeah.
once I get my farm set up and everything like that, then it'll be a lot easier to sustain myself. But I'm still in that phase where I have to go and
Survival
forage.
mode. The
Survival mode,
survival
yeah.
mode phase.
And I know how to play this game. You know what I mean? Like, I know the ins and outs, so I don't have to worry about reading the wiki and stuff like that. But at the same time, I'm uh definitely past the 24-hour mark. I might be 36 hours in, and I still can't keep up with the food.
I don't know. Shouldn't there be like a fish on a stick recipe or something?
Yeah. Actually, the meat part is not a problem. So like
No.
technically, I could just like cook meat and eat it, but it's
Yeah.
not. I don't know. It's just not doing it.
Well, I know that we've dug this hole and now we have to really build this house. I wasn't really planning. I don't know what kind of walls we should make, but
I think it should just be plain walls. I don't think there should be anything.
all right, let's give it a
It's
shot.
not like you can see it. Maybe Oriole in the front on the second level or something
All
like
right,
that.
go ahead. I feel like it should be too wide.
Too
The
wide.
house.
Really?
Yeah. So this would
No.
be the
Okay. Well,
entrance.
we'd have to mine another. We'd have to mine another thing,
Why?
because it doesn't allow you to mine.
No, not too wide. High, just like one more on the base level.
I know we'd
Should
still
be
have to
too
mine
wide.
this level. We'd have to mine this door out, because that was the issue I had before. I placed the house, and then
Yeah.
I tried to start mining, and it wouldn't let me mine through the house.
Oh, really? Okay.
Now I know that you can do it once you have it built and you put an archway there or something, but I don't know about a door.
Yeah. Maybe. We can just mine. So I know. I guess that's our discussion about, I don't know, new players and whatever we've been discussing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we
One thing
did
that I've
say,
noticed.
yeah.
Sorry. One thing I've noticed is that on the forums there've been a couple posts about new player experience, not just like the veterans. Like, I've seen new players posting their experiences on the forums, which is amazing to see because it means that there's people who are new to the game playing the game, and of all, like, there's probably a lot of them now that I think about it, considering a bunch of them are posting on the forums. What percentage of people post on the forums?
Yeah, a very small percent of people that
Small.
go through the game. You're right. There's, I don't know if maybe there's just more people posting on the forums, or if there's actually more new players coming into the game. I think maybe it's just more new players that have shared their experiences. That's my guess.
Even one
But
of them was saying that they found the game through they bought Wurm Unlimited. In fact, I even saw him on Mystic Highlands for a day, and he said
yeah,
in his post that it got him to buy a subscription to Wurm Online.
so
Or
I guess at least for that player, it worked.
Yeah, totally.
The whole Wurm Unlimited to Wurm Online thing worked.
Right. Now we have to mind the ceiling.
Do we have? No, don't mind the ceiling.
We have to if you want
No,
to
you
build
don't.
a.
No. That's not what I want.
All right.
That's,
All right.
that's
Show me what you want then. I'm going to destroy this house.
Gets rid of the whole point of this. So we need a floor. Do you have another support beam?
You're going to make me go climb that wall again.
You only brought one?
I only brought one because I thought it was only going to be a one tile house. Let me see if I can get up there with.
You're gonna have to get up there.
I will not.
And while you get up there,
Yeah.
we did say we were going to discuss about personal goals.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, and I know we had a few things that we wanted to say, but first, personal goals. What are personal goals?
Right. Personal goals are like you get them right at the beginning when you create your character, and you can see them in
They're
one
here
of the
somewhere,
UIs.
right? Like,
Yeah, and as you complete them, it gets checked off the list. Like create, a rare item. Oh, you got your first rare item and checked off the list. And I think, I'm not. Is it? Do you get karma for those? I don't remember. Okay. Anyway, you start completing these personal goals.
I think you do.
Yeah. It's either that or something.
I don't know really. Karma. Let's see. Yeah, we never really talk about karma, do we?
Personal goals. Like I have kill a wolf.
I've got
pilot a Corvida.
4,800 karma. So I must be getting it somehow.
Apparently, never piloted a caravel.
I've never defeated another player using a pickaxe. Nope, never done that. I've never slayed a drake spirit. Unfortunately, I've never done that. Yeah. I've never smithed a sword, a maul, an axe, and a shield. Can you believe that?
Interesting. I can't believe you have that as one of your personal goals.
I've never become the ruler of a kingdom. I have not repaired 6,000 fences, floors, or walls. And I've never caught 1,000 fish. But I have performed over 100,000 actions.
Wow.
Can I see anything about it? No. I
see, the thing is that the issue that a lot of people are having with these is that several of them are either nearly impossible or impossible in order to complete it.
I mean, well, that's Wurm for you, right?
Right, but when I say like impossible, I mean like impossible. For example, some people on their personal goals have become a demigod.
Isn't that possible?
It is possible,
but only on Epic.
You play on Epic, right? So they could be completely playing on this server. They have their main, everything is on this server, and they have that as their personal goal. Well, they pretty much can't complete it unless they decide to just go play Epic.
Right.
Can you believe I haven't killed 100 unicorns? I can't believe that.
I don't see unicorns anymore out in the
I
wilderness. I don't
know. Me
know.
neither. Me neither.
Maybe it's because we're playing on Xanadu.
Yeah, so that one might be impossible too for me to complete.
What happens if you complete all of them?
So it's quite interesting. You get several. I know that some of the rewards, or at least part of the reward, is you get one of those items that drop off the unique mobs.
Yeah.
Like those things that have charges that you apply to yourself and give you that permanent buff or whatever, karma spell. Like, for example, a green cherry or, one of those things.
Yeah, something like a green cherry or something like that. Yeah.
There's a bunch of them. And, the idea of them is that you're supposed to collect them all. And when you do, you can somehow start your journey on to becoming a demigod.
A demigod. I see.
On Epic, if you're on Epic.
If you're on Epic.
Otherwise, you pretty much can collect them, and it gives you the spells, and it gives you the buffs and whatever. And there's also a debuff that goes along with it. But I don't know.
So
you can't become a demigod, I guess, on Freedom is what I'm trying to say.
So I mean, is that the problem with them? Like that people cannot.
I mean, the problem that people are having with them is that there's, like, what's the point of having these personal goals if you and a reward and you're trying to work towards them when you actually can't work towards the end result? Like, there's no possible way of,
So what is it? Is it as simple as just getting rid of the impossible ones?
I don't know. I mean, maybe then that'll make it too easy, and everybody will be able to get the personal goal. But like, I think that people will be a lot more happy with ones like perform 100,000 actions, or create even 100,000 planks, or whatever it is. Like these massively long. You're not going to do this overnight. This is definitely, you're in for the long haul. I mean, the personal goals should be something that rewards people for sticking it out and playing the game, and
right.
I mean, I think somebody was complaining about having that they had to create a fantastic item, and that they've been playing this game for however long they've been playing, for a very, very long time, and still haven't created a fantastic item. And I know that those are super rare, and you could just be very unlucky with rares and not get it.
Even if it's like a fantastic clay or something.
Right, and I think that would count. It's possible. I mean that led to the whole debate about whether or not fantastics are too rare.
Well, okay. One good thing about personal goals is that you can do them without knowing you are doing them.
True. I mean,
right?
I never worked towards any of my personal goals.
Right, and you accomplished a number of them.
Right.
The question is, do you feel they should be changed?
Do I feel they should be changed? That's a good question. I don't know.
Is there a problem with them?
I think there's a problem in them.
Yeah.
There's a problem with them in the sense that there's no reason that I would ever want to do them. Like, they don't. I don't know. I feel like I'm not interested in even like worrying about them because there's no chance of me ever finishing them. So why even try? You know what I mean?
So by changing some of the goals, that might get you wanting to do them more, or is that enough even for you?
As I said, like, even if it was one, like, goals where I had to make 1,000,000 of something. Like
Yeah.
I would at least work towards that. At least I could work towards that. But could I work towards becoming a ruler of a kingdom on chaos, for example?
Right.
Like maybe I could work towards that, but like what
It's
percentage of
not.
people ever get to do that?
So maybe there should be like different
Are you gonna finalize this building?
different tiers. Okay, yeah. Maybe there should be like different tiers or different categories, like a PvP type category, a PvE type category, like stuff that you could separate them so that you could at least work towards and complete one section of your personal goals and get that reward.
Right. So I see what you're saying. So like separate them so that there's like different.
Whatever. You could separate them like pretty as far down as you want. Like this,
and once you complete a certain group, you get
for,
a certain reward.
Yeah, this personal goal is for harvesting, or this personal goal is for building, or something. I don't know. Section.
I need permission for this building, but I think that that's a good idea. Like I would totally work towards them if that was the case. If I felt like I could work towards something.
Like if there was progression or categories, or you kind of micro segment the personal goals so that people can complete some of them and get a reward of some kind for it.
Right. Like I would go hunt out those 100 unicorn. I would find the server and hunt them out. If I felt like
could be
at some point or another, I would eventually finish all my personal goals, or I would at least get something.
What happens right now when you do finish your personal goals and
so
you
if you
get
finish
your reward? What's the
I'm
next
not sure.
step? Is there a next step, or are you done? Like, you've done all your personal goals. Congratulations, it is now over.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I really don't know. I think you're just done.
I mean, if you just take the way that small apps work, like phone apps, mobile games, use some examples, like ones that are repetitive in nature, ones that you are coming down a mountain or something, or you're climbing ladders or whatever, or you're jumping on buildings, and that's like the whole game, and people just keep playing because you have like round 1 of achievements. Oh, jump over 5 buildings in one play, for example. And then they reach that goal, they get some reward, and then the next round of achievements appears and they have to achieve more. They're like, well, now I've got to do this and now I got to do that.
And maybe they get progressively harder.
And they get progressively harder and harder. So it starts off easy and they get a reward for like doing easy stuff.
No, I guess
as simple as giving titles or something, like
titles,
a round of titles for this sort of thing. How far have you gone?
The argument is that we already do get rewards for them. It's karma, but like honestly, karma isn't something that people are really working towards unless you're on PvP server.
I'm completely not helping you here.
I think people work towards getting the minimum amount of karma that they need to just have that, like, I'll summon my corpse spell.
Yeah.
Just in case. But once you have that amount, like, there's like no reason to continually collect karma. And I know there's people who are karma junkies, but to be honest, karma isn't really all that useful at all. Like, it doesn't do anything other than summon your corpse or potentially teleport home.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a completed system, it seems, I guess. That makes sense. Which
I mean, what else can you do with karma?
You light lamps.
Oh. Whoop-de-doo. I can light lamps without... Do you fill the lamps?
Can you teleport home? Can you teleport home with karma?
It'd be, you know what? It'd be totally different if you were able to like spend it on creating a lamp that never needs fuel, for example.
So that
You know, like something that would be useful, something that would do something that nothing else could do.
that'd be interesting.
I'm sure that we can think of lots of other things that
Yeah, so there's the town portal and there's the summon corpse.
summon corpse and town portal. You know, I would even be more inclined to do those missions if karma gave me something more to do.
All right, well, so even just making the karma system, I don't know, fleshing it out a bit. But so far, what seemed to help you is categorizing, breaking down.
Making it so that there's more variety. I mean, it could even be just like progression as well, like
Having some kind of progression on these personal goals,
I
making
like
it
your
more like
idea.
a system.
I like your idea of separating them into categories. And you're right, like in the sense that there should also be like once you complete them, there's like the next round of it. Um, I feel like the next round of it should be like bigger and better.
Yeah,
There could be like a
starts
section
off
that's
really
like
easy, gets
Hunter,
harder.
for example, Hunter, and it's about like the kill 100 unicorns could be in there, or like butcher X number of hides, or even
So it could
okay,
be
whatever.
like a
But
tree
then
system.
right, but then once you finish that, it goes on to like butcher X number of 30 quality hides, or and then once that round is done, then it's like butcher such and such, and just can
Right.
progressively gets harder and harder, and the rewards get better, and there's like you will never get through it all. You know what I mean? There's just so much of it that
I
there's
do
no way that
like
you'll ever get through it
I
all.
do like the idea of having multiple goals all at once in let's say a category. So like a hunter goal with like 3 or 4 things that you have to accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
And when you accomplish those 4 things, you earn some kind of reward and you go on to the next level of hunter level. It's like hunter level 2.
Mm.
Now personal goals, like more personal goals. And then hunter
Okay,
level 3, more personal goals.
and
And
maybe
you just
each
keep
one of
going
these
that way.
things gives you some kind of perk.
Yeah. So each time that you finish a level, you get something. You get some reward.
Mm-hmm.
And that
and it
makes
could be
it so
like
you want to continue going. What's the
and it
next
could
reward?
tie into
What
like
did I
those
just
things that
get?
you were saying before, like a tabard or a
Yeah, you never
title.
know. It could be anything. Anything small that people would actually want. Titles are great because you can give out, it's something that is not game breaking and something that people always want.
Mm-hmm.
And
What do we want here? Do we want a
door.
portcullis?
That's a good question. I feel like it should be a door.
A door? Like a single
But
door?
the question is, a single door or a double door? What do
Or
you
an
think?
arch. It could be an arch.
I'd rather have a door.
Okay. Let's just do the plain stone door then. Single door.
But it could be like one with a banister at the top with the wood at the
Okay.
top, like just a regular stone.
Stone door.
So isn't there a stone door that
You're thinking of the wooden door that has a little like canopy thing?
yeah, what's
No.
that one?
It's only on the wooden door.
Oh, so we
I
just got
mean-
to do it. We just got to do a stone door.
It would be nice if they did that for the stone door.
So let's do a stone door for this one. But anyway, as we struggle through this, I think we we could talk forever. We,
I know.
we can come up with ideas. We can keep talking. I'm very interested to know what you guys' ideas are. What did we talk about? We talked about the new player experience. We talked a little bit about endgame and how to keep veteran players around. We talked about personal goals and what we could do to make them more enjoyable. Or maybe you think that none of these systems should be touched, or who knows. I would love to hear what you guys think, and you can make a comment wherever you are on our Patreon page or whatever. And I think this is a good time. We dug our big hole.
Yeah.
We talked everything we talked. We talked for a long time about Wurm. I think this is a good time.
Yeah.
You guys can. We're just gonna hide in our cave for a week, and hopefully,
sounds like a plan.
Hopefully, we'll see you guys in game. We'll see you guys around. We'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, everyone, and keep on worming. Hey, thanks for watching another episode of us digging in a mine. No, let's do that again.
Okay.
Hey, thanks for watching another episode of Factional Fight Plays Wurm Online. Of us mining inside of a big cave. We wanted to just thank everybody out there for watching, and thank our Patreon, and get you guys aware of everything we were doing. Yeah, Adam?
Yeah, we want to give a special thanks to our patrons, Revnik, Daspra, Deathwind, Ian, Kyoko Lioness, and Valiance and Kaylee. Thank you so much for your support, and of course to all of our patrons. Without you, we couldn't make these videos happen. It's awesome to have you as our patrons, and if you haven't checked out our Patreon page, do so. You can find it in the link below, and you can get some early access to content and join the discussions that are happening there. Look forward to seeing you there.
And we'd love just hearing from you guys, so just make a comment on YouTube, on the forums, on Patreon. We love just discussing with you guys about the game. As you know, we love talking about Wurm. So, just thanks again. We are about to make a bridge.
Here we go.
See
Let's
you later,
hope it
guys.
works.
Nice. We are ready.